Alright, should be good. Hello everybody, welcome back to the N64 Quest. This is the first stream of, a fairly big game. I think we can all agree. Well-known franchise, pretty popular still to this day, Super Smash Brothers. This is, of course, the N64 Super Smash Brothers, which a lot of people will look down on, but, others, myself included, still give this game a lot of credit. I'm kind of one of those people who will think a lot more highly of this one and want people to just kind of get over Melee. I just wish everyone would get over Melee. It's amazing. Yes, it's all the Smash Brothers games are amazing. This one is not worth ignoring, though. I have a special place in my heart for this game. And with that being said, I'm going to start fresh on my copy of Super Smash Brothers for this stream so that I can be able to say that, okay, I went back and I played it again and I've beaten it, I've gotten everything in it. So backup clear. That's it, everything. We're initializing this. All data clear. And, alright. Here we are. Fresh, totally fresh title screen. And I really just want to kind of jump into this in the most kind of lackadaisical way possible just to get started on playing Super Smash Brothers again. I'm going to just leave it on very easy. I'm going to take this on with probably the character out of these first 8 that I'm the weakest with, which is, honestly, I'm pretty solid with most of these characters. I think a lot of us would be able to say that because we're used to them. If we've been playing since this version of Super Smash Brothers, I think a lot of us will be able to say that we're at least decent with these 8 characters, if not all 12 of them. Easily my weakest character in the game is Jigglypuff. But this will be pretty much, like, I'm going to unlock Jigglypuff right here. Just do very easy mode just so we can get through this. We'll get Jigglypuff. And then I'll basically, like, my plan is to, of course, unlock everything, so I'll be able to play on the appropriate difficulty settings to unlock everybody at my own pace, and that'll be what constitutes me beating the game. Now, the thing is, whereas with, like, the crappy sports games, that it's important for me to do those because, hey, nobody else really has all of these weird in-between crappy sports games on their streams. I think it's really, really tough to do Smash Brothers and do anything unique as far as streaming Smash Brothers, because we're going to do this. We're going to play all the stages in order, and we're going to do it ad nauseum because we're going to do it with 12 characters. So unfortunately, it's not that I'm not going to stream this game a ton because I don't want to play it or I'm not going to play it this time around. I'm going to play the hell out of it, and it's going to be relaxing. It's going to be enjoyable. Because a lot of times on this, like, I'm trying to get a certain level of completion out of a game. At the very least, I'm trying to play it enough so that I feel like, okay, I've played what this game has to offer me and move on. And in the case of a game like, the crappy Konami sports games, they don't have much to offer. Which is why I do one stream. I try to play a handful of games myself and try to get used to it, but if it's just not there, I move on. Smash Brothers is like, I'll play the hell out of it, but what am I going to get out of it that you won't be able to see everybody else who's ever streamed this game get out of it? That's the thing about playing, especially 64 Smash Brothers, is that there's not a lot of variables to be had here. This is just, it's going to be the way it goes. So yeah, I'm excited to chill the fuck out after those. This is like my reward for myself for playing those 3 Konami sports games in a row. And that's why instead of breaking up those sports games from Konami, I kind of was like, okay, let's just do all these and then reward myself with Smash Brothers. And then there's good games coming up too. But it's not even that easy for me to, like, comment on what I'm doing while I'm playing, like, comment on the game itself. It's like, like I said, Yoshi out of those first 8 is probably my weakest character. let's say, like, break it down. Let's see, we got the egg throw, and I'm not great at using that. I've probably never hit somebody with that, I'll be completely honest. I have a weird time with characters that don't have an up B move that is also a recovery move. And that their second jump, like Yoshi's, like that, is supposed to be their recovery move. So that's why I've never been that great with Yoshi. I don't like his final smash. I have, like, in Brawl and later, I have a lot of characters I have a tough time with their transformative final smashes. Oh, I was gonna say, is Fox just gonna, like, wait on that R-Wing and just get taken out? Same thing with him and Kirby. I'm not that great with, ingesting the characters. I don't usually use that a whole lot because I don't see it as a super effective move or a very easy move to pull off. You're gonna see me not be that great with Yoshi right here because this is Break the Targets. Remember Break the Targets, everybody? I do miss Break the Targets. I especially miss Break the Targets the way it's done here and in Melee, where everybody gets their own course design, but I also understand why we maybe don't get that with these newer games that have, you know, nearly 100 characters. But I do love Break the Targets. And, Board the Platforms wasn't as great, but Break the Targets is, like, the way to be. I feel like I've already fucked this up, actually. Fuck you. Because I don't think I'm supposed to be on this platform yet. Yo, I messed it up. Well, go ahead and laugh at me. I have not played, if I've played Smash Brothers games that have Break the Targets in them lately, I have not played Break the Targets for any character in any game that has it. So, whether it's this one, Melee, or Brawl, I have not played any of those at all recently. I do remember in Brawl, one day, so I must have been 14 years old. What the hell am I doing? I'm usually Link. I'm following Link. I'm a dumbass. I must have been 14 years old or so, 13 or 14, and I remember killing myself to get one trophy or whatever it was, an achievement that came when you beat it beat the easy Break the Targets in like 13 seconds. And I just used Sonic, and I played it over and over and over again. I don't remember anything about those, to Break the Targets from Brawl, but yeah, I distinctly remember, like, one day I probably played it for like an hour straight trying to get just one achievement out of it. Remember when you had time to, like, do one stupid thing in a video game and spend all day on it and not feel like you're missing out on anything else and that you're allowed this leisure? Whatever happened to that, right? Alright, Pikachu's fucked. That was 12 seconds. We didn't even get to see any Pokemon here in Saffron City. That was lame. Wish we'd seen a little bit of that. Saffron City is probably... Saffron City is either my favorite or my second favorite stage in this game, which does not have a lot of stages, admittedly. It's got some classic stages. I think... almost every game, almost every stage in this game has been recreated. At least got brought over to Melee, or has been recreated. I think one of the only ones maybe that hasn't been is Hyrule Castle, which I still love. But then we've gotten amazing Zelda stages, most notably Temple in Melee, which is maybe my favorite stage in any Smash Brothers game ever. It's one of the levels that has a oversized enemy in it. I forget what cheap shot it's supposed to be referring to, but I don't take too kindly to being called cheap. Oh, and Board the Platforms. So like I said, Board the Platforms is not as good or iconic as Break the Targets. And I think this game also has Race to the Finish in it as well. And I'm trying to remember if... I feel like I just always have sucked at Race to the Finish, though. Also... There it is. Awesome. Oh no. Yeah. 2 in a row, that's what it is. Hey, I did that one. I'm here knocking board the platforms and praising break the targets. Which one did I actually beat, right? Kirby Team is fun though. I like Kirby Team a lot better than Yoshi Story from a design standpoint, because it's obviously like Kirby. There's variant to the characters themselves, whereas Yoshi, understandably, it fits the character, but it's mostly just a bunch of shit getting in your way. Even on the harder difficulties, I remember it being super easy. Hey, fuck you. Remember in original Smash Brothers where there's no headless hammer that screws you over for a good 20 seconds? There's also no golden hammer. I think one of my favorite things in this and in Melee, because I did play a little bit this afternoon, but like I said, I wanted to, got lucky there, took him up before I lost another life. So I was trying to recover there. I don't think I had a recovery in me though. Playing this afternoon, the proximity mines from GoldenEye, I think those being in the first 2 games, this and Melee, is one of my favorite things, because it's a distinctly unapproved item for those 2 games in the time period, and even in the trophy in Melee, tried to get around it and be like, yeah, we top secret, you can't tell people what this is from. It's one of the best items. One of the best items in this game for sure, where there's not nearly as many. What the fuck, Samus? Nothing quite like hearing that crowd noise when you make a good save, a good recovery. Nice. Oh. Cool. We're getting down to it. We're almost there. This is not going to be a long video, but I don't think anyone would have expected it to be. If I was just gonna, if you're just gonna do one run in original Smash, it's not going to be a long video at the end of the day. Just pummel him so I can actually launch him somewhere before he starts to attack me. Yeah, it is really crazy to be playing Super Smash Brothers and not have to explain to people how the game feels, and don't have to explain the controls. And you know, I always feel like that's my job when I'm doing these videos, when I'm doing these streams, is like, yeah, if you're not playing it, like, this is how it feels. It's so tough to describe, and it's like, oh my god, if it would just have been this way. And like, it's so long in between this, but like, I do not feel like I have to describe how Smash Brothers, even the 64 one, when we're not really used to the 64 one the way we are Melee and Brawl and Ultimate at this point. I feel like it's still kind of like you can feel what's going on. You have the idea. Yeah, Race to the Finish. I don't know if I've ever beaten this. Oh, also worth noting, and I think something that makes a huge difference, particularly on this one, I am one of the only people I know that always uses up on the control stick to jump. And no, I have beaten this. Maybe it's something else. I think I might be thinking of the Brawl Race to the Finish. where it's sort of a risk and reward thing. Maybe that's what it is. 'Cause this isn't. This is obviously way more beatable. Yeah. That was a silly thing to say that I think I've never beaten this. I think I'm thinking of a different minigame in another Smash Brothers. Because that obviously was super easy. Never mind. What the fuck was I thinking of then? It must have been Brawl. Anyway, I always use the control stick. And I push up on the control stick to jump. And I know very few people, if any, actually do that. Everyone apparently uses like X or Y on the. I think it's X or Y. I don't even know which buttons you can and can't use to jump because I never use them. But funny story though, I was using. When I was playing this afternoon, I was using my Hori pad because I thought it would be interesting. I wanted to give this game a shot with the Hori pad, with its big GameCube-looking control stick on it. And I found that the Hori pad's control stick was so large that for a game that's designed for the 64's control stick, I had a tough time actually using jump properly because it was too much. Basically too much space. If I didn't push directly up on the control stick, then it wouldn't register as me trying to jump, and the control stick was too large that would actually happen a lot. So I had to abort, and I'm using the Pikachu one right now, and I've had no such issues. Not a knock on the Hori pad at all. Like I said, I am the weirdo here apparently, who uses the control stick to jump. I assume that anybody else would have no issue whatsoever using the Hori pad and probably would like it because it's so similar to the GameCube controller. But that's a personal problem with me. Like, I couldn't have used the Hori controller for any longer than I did. It just seemed like the jump wasn't working for me the way it should be. So many things, though, that are weird when you go back to original Smash Brothers. One of the things, for one thing, there's no, nobody has side B attacks. There's up B, down B, and, like regular if you didn't have a side-to-side attack. Everybody's, like, melee and brawl and onwards, side-to-side attack or regular B attack is their only middle or side B attack in this game. So Link has no arrows, he just has the boomerang. I don't know if a lot of people remember that or not. And also, you don't charge up your smash attacks. You can still do smash attacks. It's obviously not as easy to do when you don't have the C-stick on the GameCube controller to just, like, flick in one direction and boom, you do a smash attack. But even when you can, like, that's me doing the up C Yoshi smash attack with his gigantic nose, and I can't charge it. It's there's just the one strength attack. Like, that is so not worth doing on Master Hand. Oh, speaking of Master Hand, I keep meaning to bring it up and I forget because I just want to play this damn game. I've got plenty of guides and paperwork and stuff like that pertaining to the 64 Smash Brothers. I have them on the couch here next to me, but that's the thing about Smash Brothers, just like it is with a lot of other fighting games, particularly when you think Smash Brothers doesn't have button combinations or special moves that you need to execute a certain a button sequence or anything like that. It's all there for you. If you just know which ones are which one on your control scheme, you already know going into it. So I've got this. Never get to use any of these because there's so many of them are later on. But I've got a bunch of these N64 magazine from the UK, little tiny guides right here. This little tiny book right here has basically crash course guides on Jet Force Gemini, Super Smash Brothers, and it's still got room to fit little tips in the back for other games from around this time. And it's exactly what you think it has for Smash Brothers. Hey, look, we beat the game. I might actually be going for Captain Falcon here. I forget if there's a difficulty requirement for Captain Falcon. But crazy thing, I don't know if this is just how the PAL games are. It seems like there shouldn't be that much naming difference or anything. Master Hand in this game, they refer to him as Giant Glove. I'm like, what the fuck is that about? You should know it's Master Hand, right? You guys have access to Nintendo press releases and Nintendo publications and whatnot to tell you that. So I've got this N64 magazine, little one here. I've got the April 99 Nintendo Power, and you can see the Smash Brothers is in the corner there. I was trying to remember if there was an actual, like, game. I was pretty sure there wasn't. And there isn't really. It's... Yeah, there's no, like, shooting minigame. You just get to stop on them. They don't keep count. So I've got that. I've got the Nintendo Power. I've got a Prima strategy guide. There is... Even though they would publish guides for, like, some of the Star Wars games. There's 20 Nintendo Power strategy guides, and they are for most of the big Nintendo 64 first-party games. Smash Brothers isn't one of them, and you would think it is, except what would they actually tell you? There is no, there's no order of events to follow. There's not a sequence or anything like that. There's no, like, oh, this is a map, and we need to show you the map of the area, and this is whatever... I mean, they'll tell you what every item does, for sure. I'm about to get my ass kicked by Captain Falcon because I elected to use Yoshi for my first run because I was doing very easy mode. No, it's okay, I'm doing fine. Oh yeah, and Captain Falcon doesn't even have a home stage in this game because he's an unlockable. So he doesn't change the order of stages in classic mode. Those are always the same. Oh god, it was a split second. And I actually, if I had managed to jump, I would have actually still gotten him. I just didn't get Captain Falcon. I tried to jump as soon as I landed on there, and it was like a split second opening, and I didn't get to do it. And it still hit him with the lava too. And so he was just like literally right behind me. I was that close. I'll get him next time. Nothing to worry about. I'm gonna keep playing Smash Brothers after I sign off this stream, like right now. Yeah, it's crazy. There's not really a lot of content here. This was a dry run, a test run of what is currently one of the biggest franchises in gaming. And it's just solid, amazing gameplay that would just continue to get refined, and that's all there is. And I guess that's why people don't really consider this one a whole lot in the grand scheme of the series, which is only 5 games now. 5.5 if you count Wii U and 3DS as separate games, which I shouldn't. I don't think you should. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to do that would be different than a lot of other streamers who have done this, or people on YouTube who have done this. I've got all this stuff that really does no use, because it's all about fighting strategy and everything. And I have another guide coming up on the way. I've been buying more guides too, and there's one more guide from Brady Games on Super Smash Brothers. And it's like, well, I'm playing it right now. I feel like I should have it, but it's like not gonna change a lot. I'll hit up another stream for Smash Brothers sometime this week, and we'll play a different difficulty with a different character, and we'll make our way to unlocking more stuff. But there's not that much there. It's just fun. It's just a fun game, and it's really, really nice to sit back and play a game that I really enjoy and don't have a tremendous amount of pressure to finish it like there's an end point other than just keep playing until you have everything. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Have a good night.